Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you had a great week. So it's Monday, which means one thing. Pool is back tonight on Free Sports from 6:30 with the vinny.co.uk Champions League pool. Exciting week last week, a lot of drama. We saw the first golden break of the tournament so far, which then could come two. We'll go into that in a minute. So what we're going to do is look over last week's action, have a look how the tournament's shaping up so far, moving into stage 2 of the event, and also give a little preview of this week's action about the players and who I think will come through this week's action. So we have a quick look over last week. We had opening wins for Craig Lakin over Tony Blount and Dave McNamara over Carl Sutton. In match 3, a win for Carl over Tony eliminated Tony from being able to qualify. Then in match 4 is where it got very, very exciting. Craig was leading 3-1 over Dave. A nice finish by Dave to make it 3-2, and then he did get very, very fortunate at 3-2, not to Gwyn off, which probably would have cost him the match. Lakin then not being able to capitalise. He was in a very awkward situation in the knuckles of the pocket, which meant with hardly any time left, it was 3-all. The only way Dave could win the frame was with the golden break, and I'm probably a bit of a spoiler, but you can see what happened here. The back getting knocked at the table, then kissed in by 2 balls in the middle, and you can see by Dave's reaction how important that was, because that meant going to the last match, it was all in his own hands. Lakin then got golden broke again in the next match, first frame of the next match with Carl. Carl ran out a winner there, but it was not enough for them players. A win for Dave in the last match over Tony meant he qualified with 3 wins out of 3. Very, very impressive performance, but it all did come down to that Lakin match. A bit of, if he goes in off at 3-2 against Craig, he probably lose the match, and it's a different story. Probably have a shootout, or he might not qualify. But as you can see, he takes a 6th spot in the last 8. If you do want to watch back last week's action, still available on the Free Sports app. If you want a more in-depth report on how the night's action went, Michael Day of the Q View does a very good weekly report. I'll post a link to the article in the description. So we have a look at tonight's lineup. In the first place, Hitan Patel, plays for India at international level. Very, very competitive player. Very consistent. I've looked at his stats, and since 2012, he's averaged around 60% in the team event, which is very, very competitive at that level. He's had a good run to the last 16 in the Worlds the 1 year, a few good runs in the Masters. Looking at his Q score, he's had a few good runs in Leicester-based events. He's based in that Midlands area, practiced with Neil Raybone, very good friends with him. Expect him to put a very good performance on tonight. Next up, we've got one of the headline players of the event, one of the greatest players ever play the game, 2 world titles, multiple world titles and tournaments all across the world, different Q sports, multiple Mosconi Cup champion, and MVP, of course. And of course, is Chris Mellon. Like I said, one of the greatest players ever play the game. It's great to have him back playing English 8 ball. Be interesting to see how he plays from a long spell out. He's so used to jumping from tournament to tournament, from different Q sport to different Q sport. He's always been in match sharpness because he's jumping from those events. So for this long spell out during lockdown, it's going to be very interesting to see how he kicks back in and see how he plays. He's got a lot of experience on the international 8 ball rules. Of course, they're similar to the Chinese rules. Then also from the 2 years he played in the Supreme Series, a lot of good wins on that. A few last 16 runs. Be very, very interesting to see how Chris performs tonight, and we're all excited to watch. Next up, we've got the young gun from Scotland, Gio Edgar. He burst on the scene during lockdown. That's when I first saw him anyway. Posting a lot of very, very competitive scores in the lockdown challenges. Looks like he's put a lot of time and practice into the game, and it looks like he's ready to step that up. He played in one of the 4-1s during the first or second lockdown on Free Sports. Hopefully he can take that experience from that night. He's put a lot of practice in, and hopefully he'll be able to take that into the game tonight and show what he can really do. Fourth and final player in tonight's lineup is Mike King, former 147 maker on the snooker table, now playing more pool full-time. Since he qualified for the England squad, he hasn't looked back, getting into their A team, playing all the World Championship events. 2 quarter-final runs in the singles, but losing it to Phil Harrison both times. No harm in that. A lot of good runs in the other international events, the Home Internationals, Europeans, etc. Winning a lot of the titles with England at world level. First time I saw Mike play, he played a money match against Colin Evans of the club I used to run at Oaklands. Very impressive performance that night. I think he won something like 21-14 with about 50-60% break dish rate. Very impressive player, and I really fancy him for tonight's action. So my prediction for tonight's winner, I believe it's going to go down to the final match between Chris Mellon and Mike King. I believe Mike King will pip it and take tonight's group. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the content so far, subscribe to my channel. And for previous videos, review videos and other videos, I'll put the links down here. Thank you.